If you do nothing to a piece of land in temperate climates, it will become a forest. The forces of nature are actively moving the land towards a balanced, sustainable, and resilient ecosystem. This is called succession. In southwest England, an unusual forest is growing. Nut trees, fruit trees, shrubs, and perennial vegetables are planted in a way that mimics a natural woodland. This forest garden is the life's work of Martin Crawford, an unconventional gardener who grows 500 edible plants with just a few hours of maintenance per month.
What we think of as normal in terms of food production is actually not normal at all. Annual plants are very rare in nature, and yet most of our agricultural fields are full of annual plants. It's not normal. What's normal is a more forested or semi-forested system. Forest gardens in a temperate climate tend to have 7 layers or so: high trees, smaller trees, shrubs, perennials, ground cover layers, root crops, and climbers. So it includes directly useful plants, many types of fruit trees, both the common ones and much less common fruit trees, all the types of nuts, tuber crops, vegetables, medicinal plants, timber, but also logs that you might grow other things on, like mushrooms. There are also plants of indirect use, system plants, to help the system function better, and that includes nitrogen-fixing plants, mineral accumulators, plants to attract beneficial insects to eat all your pests. Forest gardens are very beautiful places to be in, because although they're managed, the management is light, so they have this very naturalistic feel to them, and it is more like being out in nature than being in a cultivated garden. It can seem a bit overwhelming. There's so many different species. You shouldn't let that stop you from beginning a project, because you don't have to know everything to begin with. Just start, plant some trees, and go from there. It's not the gradually increasing temperatures that damage plants. It's the increase in extreme events, big storms, big winds, very heavy rain, hail, droughts. By having a very diverse system, whatever happens to the weather, most of your crops will probably do fine. Some may fail, some may do better. That's very important going into the future, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen to our weather. So by having a diverse system, it gives you maximum resilience.
Alright guys, what's going on? So I'm in an undisclosed area. I will say I'm in the Brooksville area, and I came by here a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like I owe you all this video. I do a lot of kind of ragging on citrus. It's just unfortunate because of the greening problem we have here in the state of Florida. It's very tough to grow citrus. Greening is a disease that's starting to attack and kill citrus here in Florida, and it's basically a psyllid. It's a small bug, starts boring into that leaf. It'll stop that plant from being able to take up nutrients from the leaves, and eventually ends up killing it. There is no long-term cure. Now, I always make this comment, citrus, because of the disease, because we can't grow it. And I'm not mad at citrus in general. But it's something I'll point out. We only have that problem with citrus now today because of the way we've managed citrus, because of the way we've grown citrus here in Florida. There's thousands of different trees that we could be growing, and we only grew citrus in a monoculture, one species, in large plantings, through 50–60% of the state of Florida, kind of like the main crop, or the sunshine state. So, of course nature found a way. It was to be expected because of the way we've planted it. So we're pretty much in a water oak, live oak, maple, magnolia, mixed species understory, and there's literally hundreds of citrus trees back here. I'm guessing most of these are seedlings. Most of these look really vibrant and healthy. As you can see, I mean, the fruit is like ridiculous. As you pull these things off the tree, they almost open. Like, I would call these easy peel tangerines. Like, literally, I'm gonna set the camera down here for a second and show you guys when you open them how easily, you know, this cap comes off of here. They're a little bit on the seedy side, but I'll deal with the seeds to have unaffected citrus. So, I mean, these trees just look incredibly healthy in this dappled light understory situation. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this citrus. I mean, this does kind of, I don't know if I would say don't give up on citrus, or gives hope to citrus, but there has been some citrus that has, you know, naturalized. It has adapted in this understory situation to where it's thriving, it's healthy, it's beautiful. But I just wanted to show you guys these tangerines, like the whole thing opens up. There's almost like room inside of there around the tangerine. Incredibly sweet, and a couple of seeds. I don't look at seeds as a bad thing. You know, I think we've bred things away from seeds where, you know, there's probably lots of good stuff going on here with seeds. Like, having fruit with seeds is probably a little bit more normal, probably more nutritious, probably more of the way they have been naturalized. And as you can see, I mean, look at the color. That's why when a client tells me they want a citrus tree, I tell them, you know, get it from Home Depot, get it from Lowe's. A, it has a warranty. B, we plant it in the understory. We put it underneath the oak trees if they have one on their property, and we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's a mycorrhizal relationship between the citrus and the oak. Something having to do with that understory, these trees seem to be much less affected. If you look at that, there's, you know, 150, 200, 300, 400, 500 fruits, you know, just here in this little range of tree going all the way up in here, and it's probably a couple of trees. But I think what excites me the most about this, guys, first of all, it's citrus. Very hard to grow here in Florida. Second of all, nobody's watering these. Nobody's fertilizing these. Nobody's maintaining these. These trees are thriving on neglect, fruiting like no other, and it's citrus, well, which is pretty unheard of here in Florida if anybody knows about our greening problem we have. I mean, look at this. Look at this. No lack of food. And not just regular food, we're talking about free food. Like, nobody eats this stuff. The animals eat it, obviously. Most of it probably rots away, and that's probably how we keep getting more trees. More seedlings keep popping up. But I don't know about you guys. Have you ever seen one this loaded?
Usually, the playbook for modern agriculture goes like this. Buy a huge plot, plow the earth, plant one single crop, fertilize, use pesticides, harvest. Buy a bigger plot, plow it to death, be forced to buy new seeds, plant the same super-engineered crop, emit carbon, poison the soil, degrade the earth. And that, we're supposed to think, is the only way to produce our food. By this definition, Falk Gärtner is doing everything wrong. He has a tiny plot, no machines, no toxins, and many crops. Look at this! And with that, he turned a dry, sandy patch of ground into this. The cherry on top, he's much more profitable than the average industrial farm. The method he swears by is called permaculture, and it may hold the key for us all to produce food without destroying the planet. Falk Gärtner bought this plot 7 years ago, quit his job in advertising and started a permaculture farm.
I really want to show how to produce food in a sustainable or regenerative way. So I want to leave this place better than I found it. Anywhere in the world you could do this.
He follows permaculture principles, sells directly to local restaurants and shops, works by hand and recycles his waste, meaning his food is basically climate neutral. That's why dead trees turn into sponges and bad harvests back into compost. What's striking is also that every little row has different produce growing on it, and each one gets replanted up to 4 times a year, producing more with less space. And if one crop fails, others grow to balance it out. But some rows aren't even for harvesting. Strips between rows are kept completely wild so that native animals can thrive, promoting biodiversity, with one other pleasant side effect. These small slugs were eating a lot of falk salads until bigger slugs appeared eating the smaller ones.
So it's a natural pesticide?
It's a natural pesticide, yes. And it's not only with slugs, it's with mice, it's with insects, a lot with birds. Like we have all these birds nesting around, so we make all these hedges that actually are really nice nesting grounds for birds, and the birds eat all the insects.
The farm now even gets visits from a fox that eats all the mice. There's only one pest without a natural predator, the flea beetle that comes from nearby rapeseed monocultures and loves falk salads. That's what the nets are for. Falk already factors in that he could lose up to 25% of his produce.
Keep calm and maybe accept a little loss, and nature will find something to actually remedy it.
To be honest, a lot of this sounded a bit too good to be true. But most of these individual methods have scientific evidence to back them up. Polycultures are less prone to crop failure and more resilient to extreme weather. Flower strips have been shown to reduce pests by an average of 16%. And other techniques like agroforestry, growing trees next to produce, can reduce carbon emissions and increase biodiversity. Not to mention, many of these methods have been used all around the world for hundreds of years. That's one reason why permaculture has gained an international following, with farms everywhere from India, South Africa to Brazil. Farmers are combining the ideas with local agricultural traditions and adapting them to their specific contexts. In India, so-called food forests are popular, with local fruit trees like papaya. In Colombia, chagras, an indigenous tradition of growing food in the tropical rainforest, is merged with permaculture principles. And it's taking root in cities as well. Growing food closer to the consumer, cutting down on transport emissions, and using even smaller spaces efficiently.
Welcome to Finca Madre.
What's growing on here? This is pretty cool.
This is a little bamboo lettuce planter. And you want to get some greens.
Nice. Got some fruit up there too. Cool.
Yeah.
This is caimito maybe?
Yep, star apple.
Nice.
Full of flowers right now. Can you see the flowers? Kind of hard. The lighting there.
Oh yeah, they're under there. Cool.
Governor's plum over there. It's not really flowering yet. The mandarin. This is all grass about 7 years ago. And we started terracing it out. I don't know if you can really see, but there's terraces going all the way down, so the water stops, slows, and sinks, and the sediment starts to build up, and the soil here, you know, was pretty bad. But now it's just, I don't know, you can almost want to eat it.
It's alive.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty quick here. If you plant a lot of nitrogen fixing plants, you can do it. You can speed up the process.
Here's okay.
So there's all the different citrus. Right here is a so I got the name of the orange. There's too many citrus. I've got like 45 varieties of citrus.
Wow.
Like this one, my favorite, as a Blake, the caviar lime.
Oh, I saw pictures of this. Oh wow.
You guys have a knife?
I haven't had these yet. What? Whoa. Thing's loaded too.
Australian finger lime. A few different colors. This is kind of a pinkish lime color.
Huh? Nice. Trey, let's check that out. Wow.
What?
I know, it's delicious.
Oh my goodness.
This is one of my favorite kinds of, it's a dwarf Filipino coconut with 450 milliliters of coconut water. The normal average coconut water is like 300 milliliters. So this one's short, dwarf, and just like it's like the size of a coconut, but it's a coconut water one. They're usually smaller, but
Delicious.
crispy.
Whoa.
Grafted jackfruit tree.
This is grafted.
Yeah.
Nice.
From Gary too?
This one is also from Gary, yeah.
Nice. What do you call this one? Crispy?
Yeah, I think
Crunchy?
I was calling it
Crunchy.
crispy something. Crisp. I forgot the name.
The yellow or orange flesh?
This is the orange flesh.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Sachenchi's like our false peanut of the Incas. It's one of the most omega-3, 6, 9 rich foods in the world. I think it's like eating salmon. I'm allergic to fish, so I like these a lot.
I've seen the yellows, but I haven't had them.
Oh, look what's ripening over here.
Yeah. Those are nice sized mulberries.
Israeli variety that our friend Itai brought in. Great permaculturist here in Costa Rica. Thanks, Itai. Seso vegetal. We got some vegetable brain or seso vegetal. I don't know how to. What do you call this? Aki, the national dish of Jamaica.
Oh wow.
Tastes like cheese and eggs. It's quite good. Oily like an avocado. You can eat it. You got to make sure you remove the shell, which is very poisonous, the seed, and then the inside, where it has that little pink layer. You want to remove that, and then you got this delicious, oily, cheesy egg fruit. So if you want some eggs in the morning, just climb a tree right next to the house. They move around a little bit, and they're good. This one kind of on the border. Here we go. Check this out. Wait till the sound starts to change a little bit. Stinking toe fruit, or guapinol, I prefer to call it. It's slightly strong to the smell, but not to the taste. It's sweet, actually, powdery and dry, and usually better eaten in smoothies or water. But for the first few years, I would literally only eat this while I was working. Skip lunch, and I felt great.
Wow.
Lost a few pounds, but
Try it.
Mind if I do?
a little chalky.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very sweet. I buy it powdered from this herbalist and just put it in smoothies regularly. I really like it a lot, even not eating out of hand like this.
It's really aromatic. It's acidic fruit from Brazil, made for juice. You can bust it open if you want.
Ooh, yeah.
Really juicy.
Wow.
Whew.
We had it mixed with sugarcane juice. It was unbelievable.
We should have popped some miracle fruit beforehand.
Right? Yeah, I've never tried this one with
No?
miracle fruit. No, I mean I've tried it with. I haven't tried it with miracle fruit.
It's dangerously good because you start eating
I
too
know.
many,
I bet. Yeah.
and then you can burn your mouth a little bit because it's very acidic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, miracle fruit just dripping.
Thing's an overachiever, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
because it kind of likes the stress of the summertime. You can see the yellowing of the leaves. It's really happy to have those first rains that we just had. Changes. You must have done a bit on miracle fruit. Everyone watching your channel's got to know what miracle fruit is.
Yeah.
If not, maybe you got a link up there. A feeling here?
Oh wow.
Pickle fruit. It's a Avarola bilimbi. Wow. Tastes sour like a star fruit. It's like a green star fruit. Huh. Quite crunchy. You can ferment them. I'm sure you've seen Sarah Marie's been inventing some good fermented things out of this.
New exciting
Oh my
ways to eat
God.
these things, huh?
Look at that.
Oh, they're just overachievers, huh?
Yeah. This guy right here.
Nice.
Just started flowering. Got some small fruits right here flowering.
Nice.
Gotta come back. See what's ripening.
Yeah.
Now I don't think you can smell this through the camera, but
Scratch and sniff.
wait, what you got? What you got?
Mmm.
What do you think?
Just allspice?
Yeah.
Nice. Producing. Was this from Gary?
Yeah. One of
Okay.
Gary's varieties that he invented, I think.
Is this one for Costa Rica? This smells better here.
Not sure. I
Very
couldn't
nice.
compare it to Florida. This is a Asilo sapote variety. It's like sweet potato on a tree. One of my faves.
You gotta have patience for this one, huh?
Yeah. got it planted down here. I can come back every once in a while. I don't have to pass here every day, but
Yeah. Look at those little fruits. Ooh.
it's got some nice flowers coming on. And then this guy right here.
Ooh.
This is one of the first trees in Costa Rica, and now it's producing, and every seed is gonna go in the ground, or at least in a bag and then in the ground.
Nice.
Trying to see if I can find another pitanga to compare it, but usually they're much smaller than that. This is even a tiny pitanga too, but they can get a little bit bigger, about that yay big.
Nice.
And then on the inside, it's kind of like a juicy arasa flavor, but it's, yeah, much more aromatic in my opinion. I'm gonna give a little bite right here. Mmm. Here's the blackberry jams.
I have a red, a pink, and a green.
Nice. Really?
Yeah.
You got a trade.
I know. Next time.
This is blackberry jam fruit. So the way to do this is, it's kind of got a hard woody shell. Open it up, and then with the inside you expose in your mouth. It tastes like blackberry jam, already pre-made inside the little fruit. This is where we usually bring things to get ripe. Like we got some blue Java bananas here.
Whoa.
Ice cream banana. I don't know, you want to try them right now? Bust one out?
Might as well.
They're so soft once they're ripe. Some say they taste like vanilla ice cream. Frozen, I find they are definitely like that. I want definitely a little nub there.
Wow. Amazing.
That is good.
Well, what you
Got a
got,
little,
what you got here?
some red, yellow, and blues.
Nice.
You guys want to try the red macambu?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Here, have one each. Have some breakfast, guys.
Whoa.
This is one of my favorite bananas right here.
Yeah,
There's the red one too that's like more yellow, like orange, the inside.
Red macambu. Macatan. Regular old yellow bananas, those are
Wow.
played out.
Just lame, huh?
So
How
amazing.
is
Like,
it?
the miracle fruit explosion banana flavor.
And then this guy just pumping. I mean, as Stephen Brooks would say, dripping. Now this guy is from the Amazon. It tastes like caramel, in my opinion. You guys can be the deciding factor, but usually you should do it with a knife, but we can just do it all raw like this for now. So you can see the flesh. It's got sapote like seeds. It's a sapotaceae. Man,
Phenomenal.
pretty good. Did you know that oxytocin is released in your brain every time you harvest something?
Oh.
Yeah, every time you get a little bit happier every time you harvest. You probably noticed that, but now it's scientifically proven. They did a study
I was
with.
just excited about eating fruit.
Wow.
So every Saturday I love to, every Friday I come in, get excited, pick. Man, this thing's dripping. It's gonna take me a minute.
So all
Yeah.
those will turn yellow like after pick?
Yeah, well, these, they have to be starting to get a little pinton. This one's a little green still.
Yeah, the one above your head, right above your head maybe.
This guy?
No,
Yeah.
or the one right up above.
This one's a little bit yellow there, and so they're climateric, which means they'll ripen off the tree. This one's looking nice. Yeah, if you feel free to get some, if you got some at arm, that's reach, throw them in the box there.
Whoa.
A few dripping here. They're really juicy, acidic, kind of like the arasai you had yesterday, but a little bit smaller and, in my opinion, a bit finer. Like just the flavor is more aromatic, and it's also another word is sun drop, or drop, drop of sun. It's a little,
Man.
all this photosynthesis energy. So, ooh.
Ooh, I
Juicy?
heard that.
Mm.
Trey, show me that handful.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at these guys.
Well, lift them up, buddy. Lift them up. Whoa.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
Abundance is real here.
Good job,
Oh, is that
bananas.
where
This
they
one
are?
didn't
Nice.
fully produce a good stalk because I pruned it back and it came out anyway, but this one I've been using for seed. If anyone wants some blue Java, the true blue ice cream banana, I got some suckers for you.
Some ehos?
Some ehos, yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Those before we leave today.
Yeah, so it's all about getting the varieties out there. There, Trey. All right. Ripening over here.
Ooh.
That one's pretty good. You want to try one?
Eat the skin on these, right?
Oh yeah. You know the Thai lime? They use the leaves in Thailand.
Oh, is this like the kefir?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Nice. This
Keeper's
one's really popular.
Keeper's now I mean, is there too much is there such a thing as too much abundance?
I don't think so. Enough to share with the neighbors, the
Whatever
forest,
you-
the animals, right?
See, the birds are getting some.
A couple.
You can leave that one there for 'em.
Yeah.
No ragtide in this one.
This is some seeds I found in Thailand. What was the scientific name again?
Elaeagnus latifolia.
Very good, Peter.
Latifolia, something like that.
You're doing your homework. You know the sunset spinach or bele? This is
We definitely call it something different. We call this
abica.
we call this like an edible leaf hibiscus or something. Is
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
There's a few different kinds.
Okay.
This is one of the largest ones in the world. Yeah, there's another one I have a big juicy leaf. It's like mucilaginous. But the sunset spinach from Fiji, there's 80 varieties. I think Echo's got a bunch of those in Florida.
That's where I got mine.
Yeah, this is a must-have for any kind of tropical growing. I'm all about the perennials. Oh, it looks like the orange variety.
Whoa!
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. That is ridiculous.
Damn, that's so orange. Oh my goodness.
Want some of that juicy fruit? You ever had juicy fruit bubble gum? This is where they synthesize the flavor from. Crispy. See that? Zero latex. Harvested at the right time. Fruit's
I don't think
perfect.
I've ever seen one this orange.
This is like the darkest one I've
As orange
seen.
as they get right here.
Try one of these guys.
Get in there.
All right, we're going in.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wow.
Oh,
That's good, huh?
smelling right too. It's kind of an art to climb down a tree with a jackfruit in your legs.
Oh, I don't think this is the first time you've done this, huh?
Woo! Gotcha!
Hey, you didn't
Woo!
catch that?
Look at this guy.
It's like catching a football, huh?
Good 22 pounds or so.
There's a few different kinds of turmeric here. This is a jumbo turmeric. You can see there. It's just massive. It's a lot bigger than your average turmeric. And then we got some yellow varieties over here. A yellow one. Yeah, let me see if I can pull out a little piece for you to try. See the yellow? Yellow turmeric.
Not quite right, but it's a beauty.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like some white wax jambus.
Oh, they're ripe.
White.
They're ripe like that. Wow.
So juicy. This is Sarah Marie's favorite fruit. Oh, chocolate pudding fruit. Got some big guys coming on.
Ooh. Look at that black smoke, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chocolate pudding on a tree. But this is basically a collection. I would collect maybe 20 seeds of a tree I don't have. I only have space for 3, so the rest of the 17 I distribute around the country and sell at farmers markets or anyone who wants to plant their own food forest. Have you guys ever heard of breadfruit? It's called breadfruit for a reason, because they can feed a lot of people in the tropics, where most of the world's malnourished and hungry people are. Breadfruit grows really well. It's absurd that there's not enough food. If one tree is distributed to each family, they would not have to buy carbohydrates for the next 75 years. So we started this company called Jungle Project that is commercializing breadfruit through making flour and chips and other products, and then subsidizing trees and training for farmers so they can do it agroforestry and organically, so that they can have an alternative to the monoculture plantations. The only other jobs are pineapple plantations, banana plantations, chemical-rich slave wages. But this gives people a tool to work from their own farms, food sovereignty, food security, and economic security, because a food forest, if you're growing vertically rather than horizontally, you can harvest a lot more and therefore increase income. So yeah, check out Jungle Project. We got Facebook and Instagram coming online soon. I want to plant at least 100 different varieties of coffee, maybe 1 or 2 of each, and have a little collection going here of coffee. Oh, this is very exciting. My first avocados popping off. Might be a little backlit for you to see there, but this is vanilla flower. Slice out from the side here. Open it up. And then this piece right here, you kind of have to, with this tool, push under like that, and then fold the other piece over like that. It's kind of difficult to do at this angle, but there we go.
Good morning, my name is Stacy Schwartz and we're here in North Fort Myers at Echo Global Farm. We are an international organization. We work with resourcing and training farmers in the tropics, most of whom are subsistence farmers or take a little bit of their produce to market. And so we're going to give you guys a tour of the farm today, or at least a really quick one, and show you some of the systems we have in place, some of the crops that we're working with, and give you a little bit of highlight of Echo. So welcome. We have perennials and annuals mixed in everywhere, and you'll see that we have a lot of different demonstrations of agricultural systems on the farm. And we use those in multiple ways. In part, they're for training for our students that are here living on the farm, who are our interns. But then we also bring in students during the year for week-long courses where we teach as well. And then of course we do a lot of our own tinkering and experimentation so that we can learn along the way. So all of these systems you guys are going to see today are a work in progress. None of them are stagnant, they don't stay the same, they all change as we learn and we adapt to what works best for us in this certain time or frame. So behind us we have our row of carambola or starfruit. So we work a lot with tropical fruit species that will help provide a lot of nutrition, especially for young children and nursing mothers, and in general for people. Fruit adds a great part of their nutritional diet. So you'll see a lot of fruit smattered around everywhere. This is a small dwarf mango orchard where we're experimenting with how and which varieties dwarf well. So we've gotten this information from Fairchild down in Homestead, and so we're experimenting with which varieties dwarf well in our context here. We also have a lot of bananas on the farm. We use the leaves a lot for foraging, of course, purposes, but then we also just really love banana production. Who doesn't love bananas? So on the farm, historically, we have had almost all of the FIA varieties. I believe we've had 22 or 24 was our max collection. I don't know a lot about the different individual species except that, or individual varieties, except that Sweetheart is my favorite. But every row in the lowlands here is a different FIA variety, so including Sweetheart is in this area of the farm as well. So we have a lot of bananas. They're a great resource for farmers. Not only do they have a great nutrition profile as a ripe fruit, but as a green fruit, you can use it as a starch. And that's really common, especially in East Africa and in Asia as well. So this is one of my favorite parts of the farm. When I was an intern, I really loved planting out this area. This is our Thai kitchen garden. And so this is basically a small microclimate of different canopy levels that you would want right by your home, that you can go and pick herbs or go and pick a leafy green really quickly and get things. So this has both annuals and perennials in this kitchen garden. We have a peanut butter fruit, we have lots of hot peppers and flowers, and we have some lago spinach, which is an edible. We have the lime leaf, we have all sorts of fun things, and then even one of those dwarf mangoes. So it's a nice little ecosystem of different perennials and annuals and leafy greens and other things, so that we can have something close to our kitchen that can give us some nutrition and be ready made for us. We also still have some lychees. You guys are welcome to have some if you can reach them.
Whoa. Matt, you heard that. You're the tall guy, man. Come on.
You notice they're completely bare to like reaching height?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the rest has been already destroyed by us.
Not everybody's what's ripening tall over here, bro.
I need my picker.
Fruits. Oh man, I just pulled mine out of the truck.
Do these nice nut on here. And this is a spineless variety that our propagation manager found.
Can you say that again for the camera?
It's a spineless nut on here, and it makes a really good juice. It's delicious.
Sour?
It's a little bit sour. We have one of our staff members is from the Dominican Republic, and he grew up with it, so he has like a really great juice mixture where it gets it sweeter. Yeah. So these are peanuts, for those of you who haven't grown peanuts before. They're a major crop, especially in West Africa, but you can see the little tiny flowers The peanut does actually flower and fruit above ground, and then as the weight of the flower increases, it will actually go, and then it will become subterranean after that, which is pretty cool. Our highland demonstration is also important for the areas of the tropics that have high elevation. You can actually have a temperate climate in the tropics solely because of your elevation adjusts to. This is Aki. You cannot eat it right now. Please do not even try. It is a poisonous fruit at different stages of the life of the fruit, but at one specific stage it is edible, and it tastes kind of like a cashew. It's very nice, nutty, creamy texture to it, but you have to wait until all of these open up, and then you can't wait too long after they're open or else it becomes toxic again. But it's a great fruit option, especially in an agroforestry or food forest system, because again, because it's toxic, you don't want to eat a whole lot of it. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we still have food.
Is that all like a velvet bean?
Yes, that's all Mucuna velvet bean.
Wow.
And we have sesame growing here as well. We've been trying sesame to find the perfect window for it here in Florida. But yeah.
It could be a pretty awesome oil.
Yes, yeah, and a good, really nutritious oil for small scale farmers too. And then we have our homestead here with some landscaping plants, because we need those too. We need butterflies, we need flowers, we need bees. And we have a lot of ground covers is what you'll see us starting to focus on. So we have our sweet potato plantings are going out now, so we can cover the ground before the heat of the rainy season when we get a lot of weed pressure. So
you guys growing your own mulch over here?
Yes, we do. So we try to, and this is a short pile of mulch, we try to put in areas where we have raised bed examples, we'll put vetiver really close by so that we can simply chop and drop that mulch instead of having to, again, go out to get a resource. Try and grow everything that you need within your system. So this is her mulch row, which she can chop and drop onto her raised beds as she needs mulch.
On voulait être en forme, on avait un surplus de poids. Michel commençait à avoir des problèmes de santé. Ouais. Donc, on a eu l'idée, on s'est dit on va suivre une diète pour perdre du poids. Puis donc, l'idée évidemment était qu'on mangerait beaucoup plus de légumes, on changerait notre alimentation complètement. Donc, ça a été de faire l'idée de faire le potager est venue de ça. C'est sûr que l'autre question qui se posait, qui était importante, c'est de savoir où on pouvait faire le potager, étant donné qu'il n'y avait pas beaucoup de soleil à l'arrière. Donc, Michel est arrivé avec ça un moment donné. Il dit « José, on n'a pas vraiment de place derrière, il n'y a pas de soleil. Qu'est-ce que tu dirais de l'avant si on plantait quelques tomates à l'avant à travers tes fleurs? » J'étais pas tellement chaude à l'idée au départ, j'avoue.
Ça nous intimidait d'une certaine façon de mettre le potager en façade, mais on sentait qu'il y avait sûrement une façon de le faire qui serait acceptable. Avant de penser absolument esthétique, on a pensé pratique, puis ça s'est avéré esthétique. On ne voulait pas dealer avec les mauvaises herbes, ça, on a travaillé de faire en sorte d'éliminer ça. Puis on voulait en même temps le rendre le plus éco-responsable possible. On a découvert qu'en faisant des bacs surélevés, des potagers carrés surélevés, on avait la possibilité à ce moment-là de mettre de la terre, de la bonne terre. Fait que là, on créait des lits de culture qui étaient parfaits, là, qui étaient propres, qui étaient contrôlés.
Je compare un peu le potager à l'avant à un aménagement paysager où nous, pour avoir notre production de légumes, qui en passant nous fournit environ je dirais entre 80-90% des légumes que l'on mange durant l'année. Socialement parlant aussi, on récolte beaucoup parce que justement, on connaît super bien nos voisins, puis on s'est créé tellement de liens agréables, alors qu'avant, on était beaucoup plus... le fait de jardiner à l'avant, c'est ça, ça amène vraiment à créer des liens, puis avoir des contacts avec les gens autour, alors qu'avant, c'était pas ce qui se passait. On faisait notre petite affaire, puis on était plus à faire nos choses. Pour nous, le fait d'avoir fait notre potager, on s'est rendu compte que ça répondait à tellement de choses. Michel a perdu énormément de poids, il a perdu 75 livres. Il faisait de la pression et là, maintenant, Quand on va marcher, on arrête à la pharmacie, on vérifie notre pression. C'est devenu pratiquement un running gag. À chaque fois, on va prendre notre pression, puis il va la prendre 3-4 fois.
C'est ça, on est fiers de ça.
On est fiers de ça parce qu'on aura pris un peu le contrôle, on s'est responsabilisé face à notre santé, face à nos choix, finalement. On a commencé à cultiver nos légumes. Il y a des légumes qu'on n'avait jamais vus pousser, là. Il y a des légumes cette année qu'on a choisi. Certains légumes, on les a jamais vus pousser. Alors imaginez la curiosité que ça représente pour les voisins qui se déplacent, qui voient les aubergines, les petites aubergines en train de pousser. Alors les gens viennent d'emblée par curiosité et donc ça engage des conversations. Et l'autre chose que ça amène, c'est on est dans une situation d'abondance, donc on partage avec les gens. C'est facile de donner quand on a beaucoup, puis quand ça t'enlève rien, là, c'est facile de partager, là.
A few months ago, this entire space was just an abandoned lawn full of invasive weeds. But now, after amending the soil, adding irrigation and trellises, and starting all of these plants from seed, I've been able to transform this plot into a thriving organic garden. I'm Kyle from Urban Farmstead, and I've created videos to show every step in that process. But today, I just want to take you around the garden to show you a few of my favorite summer vegetables and share a few tips. This is our bean trellis. This is where I grow all of our pole beans. Your standard green bean, and I've got purple beans. The next crop that I grow on the same type of trellis are our cucumbers and melons. So check this thing out. This is a striped Armenian cucumber, which is technically a melon, but they're called Armenian cucumbers, and we grow them, harvest them, and eat them like you would any other cucumber. This one is obviously massive, and normally I harvest them when they're about half this size, but that's one of the fun things about growing your own food is you can experiment and see how large you can grow something if you want to. Now down here at the opposite end of the spectrum, I've got tiny fruits. This is a small watermelon variety. The name is Little Baby Flower, and this one's probably about halfway grown. So aside from the super large cucumber and the tiny watermelons, I'm also growing just these regular slicing cucumbers. And it's been a great crop this year. Seems like every couple of days I'm coming out here and getting harvests like this. Now, one of the main things that give me the ability to get harvests like this from our cucumbers is because I'm growing them on this trellis. I'm also growing some of these seedless greenhouse cucumbers, and what's unique about these is that the plants have all female flowers that are self-fruiting, so they don't require pollination from a male flower, and that's why they can be grown inside a greenhouse where there aren't pollinators. All right, here we are at the tomatillos, which are one of my favorite things to grow. Like a tomato, you can also eat them fresh off the vine. When you're growing them at home, you can harvest them when they're fully ripe, unlike the ones that you get in the store that are not ripe yet. So homegrown tomatillos are sweet and delicious right from the vine. All right, tomatoes, the prize of any summer garden. So the next row here is beefsteak tomatoes, and the earlier crops are usually a little bit smaller, so this is not a full size. This variety is called Black Beauty. You can see it has this really dark purple, almost black color where the sun hits it, and then on the other side, where the sun doesn't hit it, it just is like your standard red. This tomato is about half the size, or maybe even a third of the size of some of the larger ones we'll get later in the season here, but I planted a little bit late, so most of our larger beefsteak tomatoes are still green. Okay, the other three cherry tomatoes, my other three favorites, sweet 100s or super sweet 100s. These are a sweet, highly productive tomato. I love it. It's a classic. You can find these as seedlings at most nurseries. Again, I started this one from seed. Sun Gold is my all-time favorite cherry tomato. It's an orange, very sweet, highly productive tomato. This one started from seed, but again, you can find these at nurseries all the time. And the last one is Black Cherry, the medium-sized, highly productive tomato row. The main variety I have growing here is called New Girl. It's a variety of early girl, but it's a hybridized early girl that is even earlier and more productive and more resistant to disease and pest. All right, here we are in the pepper garden, and this entire bed is full of sweet peppers. So I started trying different varieties, and eventually I found Carmen peppers, which are now my favorite sweet peppers to grow. They get, about as big or as much meat on them as a red bell pepper, but they have more flavor, and for me they've been a lot more productive as well. Jalapeno and Fresno chili, I think they're both very productive, have a lot of flavor, and they've got that perfect level of heat for me. I use them in salsas, I like to can hot sauce with them. I think Fresno chili make the perfect hot sauce because they make a nice red sweet pepper that has a great level of heat. These are center cut squash, and they're technically a winter squash, but you harvest them early when they're this size, like a zucchini, and you cook and eat them just like a zucchini. All right, this bed here is full of bush beans. Get larger and dry out. You can see this one's kind of turning yellow. The skin is getting a little bit papery, and so I'll let almost half of these completely dry out and turn into some hard seeds. I'm going to save them and I'll replant them next year. With the rest of these, I'm going to cook these up maybe in a paella or something like that.
What's up guys, I'm Will Grant and this is my front yard permaculture forest garden. I'm super excited to show you guys this project that me and my roommate have been working on for almost 3 years now, coming this summer. It has really been one of the most rewarding projects that I've ever been involved in, and yeah, I'm excited to show you guys. It all started with actually this banana plant. When I walked into a local Home Depot, I knew nothing about permaculture or growing any food, and I just thought it was really rad that I could possibly grow some bananas. So I bought a banana plant and stuck it in the ground, and it actually didn't have much luck until I started really learning about permaculture and building my soil and planting other plants, and then that's when it started fruiting. And one of the coolest things that I like about bananas is you can see there's a nice little rack here already, and when a banana plant gives you that beautiful rack of bananas, it tends to give you about 4 or 5 other baby banana plants that you can take and plant other places around the yard, or just leave it there for more racks of bananas. And then we come to this little mango tree that is very dear to me because this came from a mango that I actually bought from a grocery store and eaten myself, and it was so delicious that I took the pit out and learned how to propagate it and make it into a plant. And this is one of my favorites and probably all of my friends' favorite plant. It is called a strawberry tree, but it actually gives off these little cherries that literally taste like cotton candy. This is a ever-bearing mulberry tree that is constantly giving off these most delicious little mulberries, probably 8 months out of the year. We don't just plant the plants that feed us, we like to plant the plants that feed the local ecosystem as well. It gives off a really pretty pink flower that attracts the beneficial, birds, pollinators, bees, babes, like I said, all the good stuff.
Hey guys, this is Evan Dukas in the garden. Today I'm excited to talk to you about how you can transform any dead piece of property into a beautiful, lush, and living food forest in just 3 simple steps. That's actually exactly what we did here several years ago. We bought this property and it was in terrible condition. I wouldn't even call this soil at the time. It was actually this stuff called road base, which is compacted mountain like granite rock and clay that nothing can grow in. There were like a few really heavy duty grasses and weeds that can grow in it, and that was it. And the most amazing thing is to be able to implement this and build myself a food forest rather quickly. I didn't take anything out. I only added, making it really simple.
If somebody changed that model, I mean, the place could become like this sort of one giant food forest. So this seemed like a great place to try this out. It was a kind of a rundown apartment building back in 2007. Imagine 14 or 15 years ago, this was a giant parking lot, and there was just crew-cut grass on either side of that. So when we started, the grounds were totally bare. Okay, grass, we're talking grass, pavement, and a few ornamental shrubs that were pretty pathetic. No fruits or anything like that. So let's walk into the circular garden. This space is gardened by our group gardens program. We have about 20 families gardening together and growing things that you wouldn't normally grow in your own individual garden plot. For example, squashes. You can see a lot of space is taken up by squash, and you wouldn't have that space to do something like that in your own garden. We have carrots and peppers, sunflowers, chard, cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. You can kind of see the fruit trees here. Look at the fruit trees, they're just totally loaded. These are the ground falls that we picked up so far, and they may look a little dubious, but actually these are great for apple pies, apple sauce. You can dry these too if you wanted to. So we get a huge bounty of fruits here.
And you planted all these?
We planted all these, yeah, right. So when we started out, this was just grass here in the planting strips. And from here up to the building was a parking lot in the middle, and then grass and gravel on each side. There were a few ornamental shrubs right at the base of the building, but it was essentially just a big, open, kind of dead space. And you can see once you depave, we depaved the parking lot there, and now it's a fabulous garden.
Vacant land around Detroit, abandoned houses, things like that. And then the second one is the food insecurity issue. So you might have heard of Detroit being called a food desert. So people don't have access or availability or the means to get nutritious foods all year round. So we try to tackle those challenges. How we do that is we have this urban farm here. So we have 3 acres of land in total. The farmland that you can see right now is 1 acre. And on this farm, we have 300 different varieties of produce growing. And since 2011, we've given out over 100,000 pounds of produce to over 2,000 households in a 2.5 mile square radius. So we've given out a lot, and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., that's when we give out the produce, and it's all free. So anyone from the Detroit city or area can come into our farm and pick up the produce.
And then there's also flowers and fruit that people are invited to pick here. We usually post signs. There's actually one right here that says feel free to snack on any of the fruits. And the same goes for all of the fruit along the street here.
Autre chose que ça amène, c'est on est dans une situation d'abondance, donc on partage avec les gens. C'est facile de donner quand t'en as beaucoup, puis quand ça t'enlève rien, là, c'est facile de partager, là.
I mean, is there too much abundance? Is there such a thing as too much abundance?
I don't think so. Enough to share with the neighbors, the forest, the animals, right?
See, the birds are getting some.
A couple.
You can leave that one there for them.
Yeah.
No ragtide in this one.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. No lack of food. And not just regular food. We're talking about free food. Like, nobody eats this stuff. The animals eat it, obviously. Most of it probably rots away. And that's probably how we keep getting more trees. More seedlings keep popping up. But, I don't know about you guys. Have you ever seen one this loaded?
Here we are at the Student Experience Center Edible Garden in the heart of Oregon State University campus. We're hoping to give you a sense of all sorts of different types of food forests in this class. So while you've seen some really wild looking food forests, we wanted to show you one that's in a more manicured setting here in the center of campus at Oregon State University. It's right in the heart of Oregon State University campus, and there's fruit throughout the year. I was just eating honeyberries and strawberries. There's an apple right here that's doing really nicely. I saw raspberries and blueberries, and there's even a persimmon to close out the year by offering edible fruit in November. One thing I like about this food forest is that they even included this little meander here as an invitation for people to be able to walk through and enjoy the strawberries, enjoy the apples, enjoy the smell of the thyme, and eat the raspberries. It's exhausting studying every day and sitting through classes, maybe listening to some boring professor drone on about whatever it is. Strawberries can make it all that better.
So this is the first part of the garden. I would call it the first phase of the garden. This is where the vegetables and the fruits and the flowers are planted, and all around the perimeter you'll see all different kinds of flowers that are either native to Michigan or they bring in the beneficial insects and pollinators that will help with not only the food but just the ecosystem in general. So the focus was to bring in bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds, and I have seen all three so far. Of Detroit, currently there are over 20,000 vacant lots. That means there is land that is empty, that originally housed businesses or homes that were demolished over time, and they are just sitting.
It's very vibrant and it feels thriving.
Yeah.
And like you're walking around other like streets and it's just like a little bit like, you can see some buildings that might look a little dilapidated and run down. And then you get here and it seems like a thriving space.
Yeah.
You know, there's like all these fresh plants. It's really cool. Like, really, really a cool thing to witness. And like, I want to see more stuff like this in the cities that I visit.
When I first moved in here, the garden was here, like the raised beds were here, and actually the automatic irrigation was here too, which was really great. Not that it's very hard to put that stuff in, it's actually quite easy. I'll show you sometime. But I had to till up all the old soil. I had to remove a ton of invasive plants that had just taken over, and that was the most amount of work because I was hauling massive bags of soil up here and compost and earthworm castings, and you know, you just turn the soil over, so it's you know, it's the best cardio workout around, let me tell you that. A food jungle. I have, let's see if we go around, let's see, lavender, strawberries, kaffir lime, which is actually the leaf that you use for the Thai cooking. What do you do with the limes? Actually, I'm thinking maybe I'll try to look that up because there's got to be something you can do with them. It smells so good. This is a mandarin orange. There's no oranges on it yet, but they will come. I have what I like to refer to as my cherry tomato forest. These babies are really sweet. Yeah, that's good. These are red onions. They're pretty small, but they are red onions. I can pick one. Yep, smells like an onion. More tomatoes. I have some flowers. This is verbena. It attracts pollinators in Gomphrenia, which is so cute. These were artichokes. They're not in season anymore, but they'll come back every year because they're perennials. That means that they grow every year. Also an orange, maybe a Valencia, I'm not sure. This is an exciting one. This is okra. Look at them. Look at the okras. They're so cool. And growing all over it are my little sour Mexican gherkins, which are little mini cucumbers. They're everywhere. I know, aren't they beautiful? This is one of my cannabis plants. I have 6 cannabis plants here because that is the legal limit. Since we live in California. This is a shiso that decided to grow here. You know shiso, it's the green that they use in sushi. It's got a really distinctive taste and you only need a little bit. I use it a lot in sushi. I have a variety of different squashes here. This one is probably the most exciting. It's a Lakota squash. It's gonna turn orange and it will be ready in the fall. I have these Ziploc bags because I had a issue with rats for a while, but it seems like they've gone away. Oh, here's a really exciting one. Check out this summer squash. It's huge. Yep, in the middle of West Hollywood. So it's really urban gardening, like truly the definition of urban gardening. This is sweet potatoes, which grow underground because they're a root, and these will be ready for harvest just before Thanksgiving, which makes sense, right? But look at this. I noticed this the other day. You can actually see a bit of one here. There it is. A little sweet potato growing. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Over here we have another tomato forest. This was actually the only intentional tomato area of the entire garden because the other ones grew on their own. Tomatoes tend to do that. If, a squirrel or something takes a tomato and they eat it here or there, they leave the seeds. Tomatoes will just what they call volunteer. So I have a lot of tomato volunteers around here, but this one was planted here. And I've got, look at these. These are my prize heirlooms. Gorgeous, huh? Go. I'm gonna wrap that back up. This one needs to be eaten. I think I'm gonna take it. Boom. This is gonna make a really amazing BLT.
Weigh that. How much do you think that weighs?
Well, my friends would tease me because I have a terrible sense of weight, but I'm gonna go with a pound. I don't know, maybe a half pound. And in here too, we also have like peppers because peppers are in the same family as tomatoes. So I have like some jalapenos in here. Can you see that? This is a calamandan. It's a Southeast Asian bitter orange, like a small bitter orange, and it makes excellent marmalade, which is what I did last year. And the fruits become ready around Christmas time. This is a curry tree. So this is an import from Southeast Asia, and the leaves are actually what's used as the primary ingredient in curry spice. It's not the only spice. Curry is known for sometimes having hundreds of components, but this is the one that really gives it that aroma. You could eat these, you won't die. They do have a sweetness, but they also have this curry flavor, so it's kind of a weird experience, and there's a seed in the middle, but go for it. Like I said, you won't die. This is an old cherry tomato plant. This was a volunteer. This is the first one that grew this year. So you can see it's now on its last legs. The leaves are becoming discolored and dead. So it will be time to take this guy out soon and put in some of our fall crops in this spot. Okay, this is like celery on steroids. So I need to blanch this, which is when you tie up all the stalks together, and that kind of, it causes them to lose their pigmentation and the strength of the flavor, because this is really strong flavor, more than you would have at celery that you buy in the store. These are carrots, and actually I'd be curious to see if they're ready yet, because they've been in here a while. So I'm gonna just check and see if I find any ones that are, and you know how you check if a carrot's ready? You just stick your fingers in there and feel how big it is. Well, they're not that big, but I think for this variety, it's actually kind of perfect. Pretty, huh? So let's try one of those. We can wash these off and give them a taste later. This is green beans. Haricot vert, if you're French. Boom. I just planted these not too long ago, so these are pretty prolific. This is the onion bed. I've got leeks, chives, sweet onions, or spring onions, excuse me, And what's cool about these is that you can take an individual stalk or two. You know, you don't take it from the bottom, you take it up here. And that enables you to do what's called a continual harvest, where the plant will just keep growing. So year round you keep harvesting from it, which is great because you only need a little bit of onions at one time. We have another tomato volunteer right here, and we have a Thai basil volunteer. So this stuff smells real great. It's very healthy right there. And then we have our other cannabis brothers here. This variety is called Rolex OG Kush. It's an indica. You can see it's starting to get its little buds. And then over here, you have little seedlings of the curry tree, which you might remember from those blackish berries that you saw around. I actually grew these from those berries. So they're finally starting to get big. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We have some, you know, herbs and things scattered about, but that's mainly what I have up here. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Rosanna. Welcome to my rooftop garden in Brooklyn, New York. I began growing vegetables and herbs about 8 years ago. Let me show you around. We're gonna hear a lot of urban noise. This is definitely not the country. I started the garden with a regular ceramic container that you can find at the hardware store. The rooftop garden gets direct sunlight all day long. Growing beets, I'm growing lots of herbs, arugula here, some marigolds and basil. The marigolds, as all gardeners know, they are great for keeping the pests away. In the rectangular containers, I love to grow this very easy tomato, which is the sweet million and the golden million. And I love the idea of coming up here and being able to pick tomatoes and eat them directly from the plant.
Imagine being able to grow a garden full of fresh food in the heart of any city in the world, all within arm's reach of your kitchen. The AirSpring Indoor Garden is the latest version of our popular vertical farming systems, allowing you to grow nutritious fruits and vegetables inside all year round using only 10 square feet of space.
One of the reasons that we started Aerospring was that we wanted better tasting and fresher pesticide-free produce.
And that's why we decided to try growing our own food.
When we designed this vertical gardening system, we wanted it to work for the novice grower and also the expert grower.
So we created Aerospring and have since helped thousands of people radically transform the way they get fresh produce.
With the Aerospring garden, the stuff I grow is more nutritious, fresher, and it's pesticide-free. I do next to no work on this, and it does all the work for me, and that's why it's great.
The Aerospring requires no prior gardening experience and is so low maintenance, it fits neatly into even the busiest of lifestyles. The Aerospring has allowed me to grow almost anything.
And it grows about twice as fast as it does in soil. It's extremely easy to use and it's very simple to assemble as well.
And what's more, everything fits into one box, which we can ship to you anywhere in the world.
The Aerospring system is aeroponic. Plants actually grow in air and the roots are showered with nutrient-rich water. It's completely soilless, making the garden very easy to maintain.
Being one of the first people to try the indoor Aerospring, we don't have to worry about pests at all now, don't have to worry about weather, which will always have an effect on anybody's garden, and what my family eats is the freshest and safest produce that they can have.
So the versatility of the system is that you can grow from 3 plants up to 27 plants throughout the year in the privacy of your home. Because we have these sippable panels, you are actually able to boost the growth of the plants by 30 to 40% when the tent is zipped closed. And with the foldable lights, you can double the light intensity, and with the top LED panel, create a grow environment for plants that need the highest amount of light. Now that we've spent a year perfecting our new indoor kit, our mission today is to help other people achieve what we have done, to grow our own food right at home, save money and have much more nutritious food.
Gardening is amazing. It's healthy, sustainable, and fresh food from a garden always tastes great. But it isn't perfect. Indoor or outdoor, there's a lot to deal with. So we made a better way. Introducing iHarvest. iHarvest is different. It's a beautiful, hassle-free indoor garden that grows and displays up to 30 plants and vegetables in only 2.5 square feet of space. A vertical design maximizes room and displays your plants like a lush painting that you can eat. Now you can have a full vegetable garden in practically any corner of your house or apartment and have it look incredible. iHarvest grows plants 30 to 50% faster and bigger than traditional methods, so you'll be able to harvest fruits and vegetables bigger, sooner, and much more often than any typical garden. Get a full harvest in weeks and enjoy fresh produce in any and every season. Because it's a fully self-contained indoor system, iHarvest uses 0 herbicides, 0 pesticides, and generates 0 waste. Plus, iHarvest is easy to use. Simply place the seeds in the net cups, fill with water and nutrients, and watch your plants bloom and grow. The lights and watering cycle are fully automated, so you don't have to worry. iHarvest trellis system supports any hanging or grasping plants, while the energy-efficient LED lamps highlight your garden's natural beauty with a stunning full-spectrum array of light that your plants love. iHarvest can save you $1,000 a year on groceries, while also saving you the time of running to the market whenever you crave fresh produce. And did you know indoor gardening can help brighten your mood, lower your risk of illness, and improve your concentration? From lettuce to tomatoes and more, iHarvest lets you grow the perfect garden at home beautifully, without hassle or waste. Please back our campaign now and be one of the first to experience gardening at its finest. Fresh, delicious, beautiful. iHarvest. Let's grow together.
Say hello to OGarden Smart, the future of indoor gardening. OGarden Smart is an indoor gardening system that allows you to grow fresh produce at home. Unlike most indoor gardening systems, OGarden Smart can grow up to 90 fruits and vegetables simultaneously, significantly supplementing your grocery shopping in a way that no other indoor gardening system has done before. And since it's indoors, you never have to worry about the weather affecting what you grow or when you grow it. Get perfect fruits and veggies all year round. OGarden Smart is easy to use. Simply place your seeds and growing cups in the nursery cabinet below. When the seeds sprout, transfer them to the wheel. There, they'll grow large enough to harvest. The rotating wheel keeps your roots moist and can host up to 60 plants, while the nursery cabinet below can hold up to 30 plants, giving you a constant rotation of 30 crops at all times. The automatic low energy consumption LEDs simulate the perfect amount of sunshine, and the automatic watering gives your produce exactly the amount it needs for optimal growth. Growing your produce at home means no pesticides, no herbicides, and no waste. Just incredibly fresh food for you and your family that you can harvest right when you need it. OGarden is clean, bright, beautiful, and the perfect addition to any area of your home. From dinner with your friends to quality time with your family, OGarden is there to provide fresh, delicious produce to you and the ones you love. Through growing our own food, we can educate future generations on sustainable practices and create a real impact in the world. The future of produce is independence and sustainability. We believe OGarden will bring us there. Join us. Back our campaign today and take the next step towards a more sustainable, healthier future.
Can you find your favorite leafy green hidden inside this summery garden? Aromatic and awe-inspiring, this gorgeous garden is growing indoors, here in the heart of a Canadian winter. It's called OGarden, and it was invented by Pierre Nibart.
What really motivated me to create the OGarden was really about making a difference. For me, ecology is very important, and as well well-being of human.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I would like to introduce you to my friend Nagul. Now, before I tell you how Nagul is going to change the world, let me tell you why you're going to want it in your home today. Nagul makes your life so much easier. You can compost your food waste and even biodegradable plastics. Yes, Nagul even works on compostable materials, all at the push of a button, and as little as a few hours later, your waste is turned into nutrient-rich compost, totally mess-free and odor neutralized. In North America alone each year, there is around 330 billion pounds of garbage just from food waste. And that's not even including the packaging and plastics that add even more garbage on top of that. Nagul isn't just quality crafted, it is the world's best home composter, period. Nagul makes food waste a thing of the past and helps you cut up to half of your carbon footprint, all while making odor-neutralized, mess-free compost that you can feed to your plants, toss into your garden, send to the green bin, or put in the garbage. Back and support Nagul today and help us make trash a thing of the past.
What if changing the world was as easy as pushing a button? Hey, I'm Matt from Pila, and I want to introduce you to my friend Lomi. At Pila, we're a team of engineers and material scientists, and for the last 3 years, we've been creating something truly special, a solution to the world's garbage problem. Now, before I show you how Lomi is going to change the world, let's talk about why you're going to want one in your home today. Maybe you live in a big city and have a green bin program. You know, those little plastic bins with leaky bags under your sink that are amazing at producing smelly, gross liquid sludge that nobody wants to touch. Raccoons, anybody? Or maybe you don't have a green bin system where you live, and instead, you throw all your food waste into the garbage, which then goes to a landfill, which produces methane, which causes climate change, all while still smelling pretty terrible. Lomi makes your life so much easier. Lomi can compost your food waste, that pesky packaging from your online shopping habit, and even biodegradable plastics. Yep, Lomi even works on Pila's compostable phone cases. all at the push of a button. And as little as a few hours later, your waste has turned into the start of nutrient-rich compost, totally mess-free and odor-neutralized. You probably know us at Pila as the inventors of the world's first compostable phone case. Pila's customers have eliminated more than 41.8 million plastic bags worth of garbage in the last 5 years. To create Lomi, we've spent over 3 years completing more than 1,000 compost tests and endless hours of design and prototyping. Lomi isn't just beautifully designed, it is the world's best home composter, period. All while making odor-neutralized, mess-free compost that you can feed your plants, toss in your garden, send it to the green bin, or put it in the garbage.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today is gonna be a quick video. I just want to give you an update on the cucumbers and the eggplants in my iHarvest. What you're seeing right here is 10 weeks after seedlings. At this time, the cucumbers and some of the eggplants are ready to be harvested. Let me show you what's under these leaves. This is fairy tale eggplant. I recommend this variety for indoor hydroponic gardening. It's a dwarf variety and the fruit is much smaller than the regular eggplants that you see in the grocery store. This is another variety of the eggplants that I have in this system. The size of the fruit is bigger than the fairy tale, but it's not produced as fruitful as the other one. Alright, let's move on to the cucumber plants. This is a hybrid variety called baby Persian cucumber. They are seedless and the texture is very crunchy. The skin is smooth. And this is what it looks like after 100 days. In general, cucumber plants produce profusely for 3 to 4 weeks and then they slow down. I try my best to maintain these numbers throughout the whole growing period.
Hi beautiful people, it's Wonderful Wednesday. I'm April Roll, your ER doctor online, and this Wednesday I'm giving you a garden home update. It's month 4. In this video, this is my garden home hydroponic growing system's 4th month. So it's an update. I've had it for 4 months. I have a couple of different things to share with you about it. Surprise! I have 2 gardens now. Let's just zoom in to the tree first. Again, I've had this for 4 months. I'm just going to do a quick up to down shot of it, and then I'm going to highlight some newbies that I've got in there and some OGs, okay? So here we go. Some newbies, we've got eggplant, We've got some beets. I think it's called bull's blood variety. We've got some scallions growing. We have some purslane, which is actually a type of succulent and is very tasty. It's very juicy and has a hint of lemon flavor. Then we've got some red sorrel here, which is just gorgeous, but not mature enough to harvest yet in terms of like being a full lettuce, but it's gorgeous. We have got, what else is new here? Oh yes, beautiful borage. And let me see if I can get a flower in focus here. These flowers, let me see. I'm gonna eat one on camera. Let me see if I can pick this off here. You like my henna? It's kind of fading. I got that in Dubai just now, but let me not drop this. So here we go. I hope you guys can see me. Right off the tree. So borage is edible, and the flowers have kind of like a cucumber flavor with a hint of honeysuckle, and they taste so good. And so you can pop those on salads and spice it up that way. We've got a ton of jalapenos growing on the tree here. And then we've got some ripe tomatoes that I need to harvest under there. So that's great. Mint is always growing out of control. I can't tell you guys how many times I've cut this back and it continues to grow. And then my basil, tried and true basil, sweet or Thai basil over here. Again, trying to go to seed. I need to cut those off. Back here, so guys, I cut down my sweet pepper tree and it is growing out of control. Like, I cut it, I don't know if you guys can see it, I cut it here because I'm like, you know what, I need to prune this because it's getting way too tall and I'd rather it be bushier so that it can produce more. So let me just say something real quick. While I was out of the country, I had this on vacation mode. I'm gonna turn it off today, but that's basically so that you're not getting wild, crazy growth while you are not, you know, able to harvest your lettuce and your greens and everything like that. You can put it on vacation mode, which is really simple to do in the app, and pretty much go away and not have to worry about all of your stuff being a jungle when you get back. Now let's go over to the newbie here. I did not put this one on vacation mode because this one is only, when I was leaving, this one was only at the 10-day mark. So what I did was I added the plant food because that's what you do at day 10. Kelby, which is the assistant, the AI assistant, basically says, you know, it's time to give your plants food. Go ahead and do that. And it, you know, explains how to do everything. So the thing that I wanted to highlight on this video was, one, the vacation mode. Two, that I have a second garden. I love it so much I bought a second garden. And I in fact even bought a third garden, but that one is with my parents. I bought it for them.
So what happens here, this is a 20-gallon tank, holding tank, that holds 20 gallons of water.
All down there?
All down here. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. There's a pump down here.
Right.
That pumps the water.
Wow.
Every 15 minutes, which we have it on a timer that's set for 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. And you can probably hear some of the other ones running back there. So it will come on, 15 minutes on, shower here, go off, 15 minutes off. And the reason for that is because it's oxygen, the oxygen is hitting those roots, and it really makes the roots a lot stronger. And you can see there's the water come up through the shaft. It's slowly windward. I want to do something. I want you to smell my roots. I get to kick everybody smelling my roots, okay?
Oh, people got fun with that.
I love my root system.
Oh my goodness. What does it smell like?
It
smells like earth.
I know.
It smells like they're...
Isn't it awesome?
It smells like they're in dirt. But it smells like earth. It's an awesome.
And I'm going to send you a beautiful salad.
Oh,
is that not
my
amazing?
goodness.
Isn't that wonderful?
Is that not amazing?
Whoa.
The celery.
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 Look at her wrestling it out.
Now smell those.
Here, bring it out over here
celery.
in the light, guys, so I want to get a close up
Smells
of that.
just like celery.
Yeah.
The
Now
roots smell like celery too?
Yes, go
the
right
roots
ahead.
smell like
Smell
All right, hold on. Oh, this smells beautiful.
Isn't it?
They're
Remember,
honestly
there's nothing been thrown on.
good. No, I mean, you can eat the leaves and everything.
Yeah.
You can eat the whole plant.
You can eat the whole plant.
All right, I eat celery, and I love celery, and there is a sweetness
Yes.
to homegrown. It's the most amazing celery I've ever tasted.
That is awesome.
That's not a commercial.
No.
I'm not getting paid for this. I may get into this. I may get my own. That's the most amazing celery I've ever eaten. I'm eating leaf. It's all edible. And
rosemary.
What is that big huge thing that's out of control down there?
This one here?
No, that.
This one? This is a tomato plant.
Look how big that is.
This is a tomato plant, and you want
Very
them to be
healthy.
very healthy. There's tomatoes growing on
None
there.
of them are in the dirt.
None of them are in the dirt. They're all water. Here is a yellow pear tomato.
Right.
Yellow cherry tomatoes that'll be big. This is beefsteak. And then again, herbs, edible flowers. They're so delicious and they're good for you.
Right. So there's all your herbs. You have
All
an
my
herb
herbs.
one.
We have
Right here.
Swiss chard. Swiss chard is so
Swiss chard,
nutritious for you.
Wait. Swiss chard. What's Swiss chard?
It is right here. A beautiful rainbow Swiss chard.
Right here.
Chard is so beautiful for you. Use them in your smoothies. Use them in salads. It has a buttery taste. Take the roots, everything. I also stir fry them a little bit when they get this big, and I left it big for you so that you can see how big it grows if you don't cut and eat it.
And look at what is this going on down here?
Cucumbers and tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
I have 4 different types of tomatoes. Let's find us a cucumber down in here.
Here's one right here.
There's one right here. Look, little cucumbers.
Little.
Well,
That's like
a
the
little-
biggest you get in a store. Oh my God! It's got little prickly things on it.
Yeah.
Like a real
There's-
cucumber.
It is a real cucumber.
No, but there's no wax
peas
on
or
it.
beans.
Look.
I have little snap peas.
Snap peas.
Do you like snap peas?
Oh, they're beautiful. I know you do.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you.
you see how we can come out and we can just cut and eat and cut and eat.
Dude.
Oh, you got to taste.
Really?
There's sugar in there.
Really?
There's sugar. Did it just explode in your mouth?
That
The
is
sweetness.
the sweetest thing ever. How long did this take to get all this that we're eating right now? I feel energized. I feel amazing.
Well, okay. So this is, we're in the 2nd week of June. This is 6 weeks old.
That's it?
I started it, I put it out here.
Hold on a minute.
Let me back
Wait.
up. It's 7
Dude.
weeks old. It's 7 weeks
7?
old. Because I started
We've
it.
been doing artists for like 15 weeks and we got nothing.
That's what I'm saying. We're starting to get stuff, but
we got nothing.
nowhere near like this.
No.
The lettuce garden right there is only 4 weeks old, 5 weeks, 4 weeks old. Because I just started that reseeded and it needs to, we need to eat it and eat it and eat
Oh
it.
my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see this? Can you see how big this is? Next to my head. This is zucchini. There is no zucchini in the store that looks like this.
But can you imagine if they come out and bit into the...
Robert is so excited, he can't stop talking for me to eat this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I've never seen Robert this excited since I've known him. Seriously, guys. This is, you guys are like, you must be eating marijuana if you're that happy. No, I'm eating clean, fresh grown, ripping it off the plant, not even washing it. I don't even care if it's, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So this is what, Swiss chard? Swiss chard. You start here or you start here?
Start there.
All right, I'll start here.
Tell me what it tastes like.
Like buttery corn or something. I mean, it's got like a buttery. Oh my gosh. How can something taste like that? Whoops, sorry. How can something taste so good, so buttery? I mean, it's a plant. I've got a cow. Oh no.
I get everybody out here eating.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine how much...
Did you know that oxytocin is released in your brain every time you harvest something?
Oh.
Yeah, every time you get a little bit happier every time you harvest. You probably noticed that, but now it's scientifically proven. They did a study with.
Just excited about eating fruit.
And did you know indoor gardening can help brighten your mood, lower your risk of illness, and improve your concentration?
And what
Rosemary.
Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a quick video. I just want to give you an update
Not
on
named
the
it yet,
cucumbers
but
and
let's just zoom
eggplants
in
my
to the tree
iHarvest.
first again.
What you're seeing right
None of them in
here
the dirt.
is 10 weeks
I'm
of seedlings.
just going to do
At
a
this
quick
time, the
up
cucumbers
to
and some
down
of the
Right.
eggplants are ready to be
of
harvested.
it, and then I'm going
Let
to
me show you
highlight
what's
some
under
these
these
herbs that I've got in there.
This is fairy tale
okay?
eggplant.
Right?
I
Those are your
recommend
herb,
this
your
variety
herb
for
one.
indoor
Right.
Some
and
newbies.
gardening.
We've got
It's a dwarf variety,
Swiss chard.
and
What's
the
Swiss chard?
fruit is much
We've
smaller
got,
than the regular eggplants that
some
you see in the
beets.
grocery store.
called bull's blood
In spite of the
variety.
size,
Got some
I find this
scallions,
variety
celery,
produces more profusely than
have
other
some
varieties.
purslane.
By the way,
which
this is a
actually
good size to
succulent
harvest.
and
You want to
very
pick it when the
very
skin is still
big.
glossy. Once the skin
And
loses
look
the
at what is
gloss
this
and
going on down
becomes
here?
We've
dough,
got some
it's too
red
old.
sorrel here.
Another
just
thing worth
gorgeous,
mentioning
but not
is the
mature
pollination.
enough to harvest
Eggplants
yet
are
in terms
referred
of
as
being a
perfect
full,
pollinators.
lettuce.
It means
but,
a single
cucumbers
flower
gorgeous.
contains both
Little?
female and the male.
That's like the biggest you get in the store. Oh my god, it's a
Therefore,
little
they
prickly
can
thing though.
self-pollinate
Real
within
cucumber.
the same flower.
It is a real cucumber. No, but there's no wax on it. Look.
You can
Flowers,
use a small
in
paintbrush, makeup brush, or
beautiful. I know
flower
you do.
brush that you can
There we go.
and
Thank
then
you.
gently touch on the center of the flower like so. And then you're done.
It's kind of fading.
If you don't have
I
time,
got that.
You got the
can
taste.
just run a
Really?
fan
There's
down
sugar
the
in there.
blades.
Really?
It works
There's
the
sugar.
same way.
So here we go. I hope you guys.
Did it
For
just
me,
explode
I
in your
want
mouth
to
with
That's the
sweetness?
sweetest thing ever.
I'm just
right off the tree. So
Oh my.
gorgeous edible.
if a flower was
And
that?
properly
flowers
pollinated,
You got a
the
arugula?
flower
have
itself
kind of
would
like
dry up and then
this
either
is
fall
flavor
off or attach
with a
to
hint
an
I
other.
love arugula.
If it's not
honeysuckle.
pollinated,
And they
the
taste
whole
Oh
flower,
my goodness,
including
dude.
this
I have not
salads
eaten vegetables
and,
everything like
spice
this in
it
my
up
life.
that way.
let me
Okay.
remove
Got
this
a ton
flower
of
and then
Well,
show
let's
you.
talk
growing on the
about
tree
this one
here.
right
This
here.
is how it
This
would
one
naturally
is the most
fall
impressive
off.
of the bunch so
some
far.
And what's
ripe
left
tomatoes
is the
that I
baby
need to
eggplant.
harvest.
How long
out there.
did this take to
Nature
get
is
all this
that's
that we're
great,
eating
isn't it?
right now?
Mint is always
I feel
going out of
energized.
control. I
I
can't
feel
tell you guys
amazing.
how many times.
The Napa County Seed Library is a free public resource for seed saving and sharing. We believe that seed saving cultivates respect for the land and the people who grow from it. It gives us a connection to each other, produces healthy food, and brings well-being to all of us in the community. Seed saving is valuable because it is a free, sustainable, and renewable resource. So seed saving is very important. It's akin to our survival as well as the survival of the planet. When we save seeds, we thrive, we connect with each other, we heal the planet. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to keep doing it for a long time.
Hey there, I'm Essie Flynn, and today I wanted to give you some insight on what it's like to grow strawberries in the garden and what you can expect if you decide to grow strawberries in your garden. If you plant strawberries from seed, you have to wait quite a bit longer to see fruit than if you start from bare roots. And once you plant them, the ever-bearing versions should produce fruit for 2 to 3 years before you need to replace them. The strawberries that I am now able to get from garden are the ever-bearing Albion strawberry, which is known for its large, sweet berries and also comes with the title Perfect Dessert Strawberry, which was just what I was looking for. I wanted something that my family could just pick off of the plant in our dining room when they had the desire for something sweet rather than looking for something with refined sugar in it. For a different variation, you can order pine berries like I did. Pine berries are in the strawberry family, and when they ripen, are white with the taste combination of pineapple and strawberry. I've wanted to grow these for years, and now thanks to Garden, I'm getting my first flower after popping it into a Y-cube just 3 weeks ago. I've had strawberries growing in my garden for 2.5 months now, and I have plants at various stages. I ordered 5 at a time, and when I saw it was going well, I ordered 5 more. So I'm looking at plants that are almost 2.5 months old and giving me gorgeous sweet strawberries, and some I popped in just 2 weeks ago that are getting their very first leaves. My family is delighted and I couldn't be happier. Our 2 gardens sit side by side in our dining room as a food source and an ever-changing art form.
Hi, I'm Luai, and I'm an urban gardener and food grower in Toronto, Canada. I'm going to give you a tour of my backyard space as well as my allotment plot, show you exactly how I grow food for myself and for my family in this small space. Growing food in an urban setting can be challenging because we don't have that much space to grow the food we want. Therefore, I've supplemented my raised beds with containers, and I use a range of different materials: plastic, grow bags, wood, and terracotta containers. In these right here, as you can see, I've got some peppers as well as some eggplants growing right alongside my raised beds.
Now this takes the phrase bringing the outside in to another level. With so many of us now working from home, it's never been more important to make your garden work for you. Integrating a garden room into the design is becoming more popular than ever. This substantial garden room actually takes up about 1/3 of the garden. However, if you create other focal points within the design, it doesn't dominate the space. The focal point in this part of the garden is this sensational contemporary pergola. Now just look at these main beams, which are self-supporting, and this fabulous pendant light at the centre. And on the wall of the pergola, we've got these alternating panels. We've got these fantastic pattern tiles here, which are picked out in the flooring, and also then hardwood panels in between. This is very much a garden for entertaining and relaxing in. Now, this particular area of the garden gets the sun in the afternoon. It's a wonderful place to sit in the evening. Our clients love to catch the early morning sun and have their breakfast here just as the sun comes through the tree fern. Lovely.
The #1 secret to transform your yard into a proper cottage garden is knowing what plants to select and where to place them. This comes with experience, but I'm here to show you some shortcuts and share secrets I've learned in the study of art that can save you a pretty penny and lots of grief when designing your own botanical utopia. I'm Siloe Oliveira, an artist and gardener. In past years, I transmuted a tiny patch of lawn into a hidden jewel, and I'm doing it again at a much larger scale in my new home. Follow this series on garden design for practical tips and theoretical musings to elevate your yard into a garden worthy of dreams. In this video, we'll focus on plant selection, their different forms and habits, and how to mix and match them to get that cottage look. You may think that cottage gardens are all about planting things without a pattern. However, I'll show you there is method to the madness. In my new home, I picked the side courtyard as the starting point to my garden and installed beds to house edible produce. I broke up my concrete path and reconfigured it into a curved and gentle walkway, leaving a larger border next to the foundation to grow flowers cottage style.
Wasps and butterflies. Thank you. You gotta come by sometime. I mean, actually walk in.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
This is beyond beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very vibrant and it feels thriving.
Yeah.
And like you're walking around other like streets and it's just like a little bit like you can see some buildings that might look a little dilapidated and run down, and then you get here and it seems like a thriving space.
Yeah.
There's like all these fresh plants. It's really cool. Like, really a cool thing to witness. And like I want to see more stuff like this in the cities that I visit.
An oasis of calm and peace. This is a private home garden sitting in the midst of Jakarta. Truly in sharp contrast to the chaos and traffic that comes to mind when you think of the city. A very unique feature of this garden is the swimming pool inside a fish pond. And if you look closely, it is even heart-shaped, symbolizing the love of the owner for his lovely wife. This is the home and garden of Pat Chandra.
I want my place to be wild.
A well-known figure in the plant collector's world. Step into this garden with the landscaping style that Pat Chandra calls forestscape, where plants roam freely.
If you let them free, the root will find the nutrition.
There is no use of pesticides or fertilizers or moss poles, mimicking how plants actually grow in the wild, in the jungle, where they all had ultimately come from. And the most remarkable thing, this garden is only 2 years old. Let's go and meet Chandrana and find out how he had created this beautiful paradise in such a short space of time.
So this is not my work. Designed by a friend of mine.
Okay.
His name is Oki Suharto. He's got the YouTube channel called Godong Lawang.
So I have to ask you, Pat Chandran, because all my begonias are in pots. I'm wondering, what is your potting mix here for this begonia? Because they look so happy.
Irene, many people ask me about this, Why the plant is look healthy and what is the potting mix? I'll be honest to you today, no potting mix. I just planted in the ground with the soil.
In the soil?
In the soil of whatever soil it is, Well, maybe I put some sand a little bit to help for porosity. If you let them free, the root will find the nutrition. Every soil they have a nutrition, but we cannot see, right? So they will try to find it because they're free. They can go anywhere they want it. That is what I want. I want my place to be wild, just real wild.
People sell like specialty? Okay, this is the potting mix for aroid, this one for begonia, this one for calathea.
Well, I don't blame people selling potting mix because pot is such a small place for plants to grow.
Okay.
So it needs a lot of nutrition in such a small place. But look at my garden. This is more than a quarter acre or 1,000 square meter. So the root is just going everywhere and then climbing to the rock. I never fertilize the rock. Falling leaf is nutrition, like in the jungle, like in the forest, right?
Okay.
The decomposing leaf is a nutrition for plants. Look at here. There's a leaf there. I just leave it there. I never take it out. The one that I take it out only on the pathway. Yes, I take out to make it a little bit clean. But for me, leaf is not garbage. Leaf is a nutrition for me. So I just leave it there.
Because I was reading this book, it's like a natural organic farming by Jadam. It's a Korean farming method. The guy was writing about the leaf itself. It contains all the nutrients that the plant needs. And so the best fertilizer for the plant is actually its own leaves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one day they are decaying and becoming a compost. You know, so that is in the forest, in the nature. So I ask you, who fertilized the forest? Who fertilized it? Anybody fertilize the forest like, oh, I want to make the trees go taller, the leaf go bigger. No, nobody do it. They regulate them themselves. We don't need to intervene in anything.
And then it's just making this chemical and fertilizer completely rich, maybe.
Yeah. Look at our gardens, no fertilizer. You can see.
Yeah.
You know, they're happy. They look happy.
When we did the design process, the idea was to make the house look 100 years old from the beginning. My landscape designer, Jirichai, told me that it takes about 5 years for a garden to mature. I said, well, let's start now.
Hi everyone, today we are at Howie's Villa. This is a private luxury escapade with a garden and interior of the resort that's designed by Bill Bensley, a truly renowned king of resort designer. So I can't wait to show you what's inside. This is nestled in the valley of Marine River in Chiang Mai, and let's just let the villa and the garden do the talking. Upon entering Howie's Villa, you just feel a sense of tranquility and being transported into a different world. In front of me, I can see there are mountains, and then there's water, and then there's garden, and there are all these exquisite little structure and sculptures all around. Now, let's explore. This is the first time I have been here, so I'm not sure what we will be seeing, so let's just get started in this tiny little corner. This is actually spread out over 5 acres, but I see that he has sectioned his garden into little cozy corners. Garden design tip number 1. Break up a garden into smaller spaces. When you can't see everything in a glance, the space invites you to explore, and so it feels bigger than it really is. The image above, that's what I call the football field garden. You can see the borders of the garden and it feels very finite. Versus the bottom where it is more enclosed and there are paths leading you to explore the space. The word garden is after all rooted in the meaning enclosure, so somewhere that is cozy and private, not a big open field. You can also apply this concept in small gardens. Don't make the entire garden visible in just one glance. Instead, consider how you can carve out little spaces and corners. This usually involves planting taller plants or some higher structure or a windy path to break up the spaces. What we will look forward to in this garden is not just, it's not really about specific
rare plants. It's just how everything is being put together beautifully. Like these sculptures, they seem so much part of the nature, like they tend to just belong. Garden design tip number 2. This is the use of non-plant element in your garden, and this could be a set of jars or some sculptures or even a wheel. These hardscaping elements can make the garden more balanced by breaking up the sea of greens. And then if you pan your eyes up to, wow, I'm kind of speechless. This pillars, these grand pillars that's made of bricks. It feels like, I don't know, I'm in some Mediterranean garden. I'm not sure what the influence is like here, but the pillar, the structure is so interesting. It's not like just a straight pillar. It's got this modulating curves right at the very top. And I think he's starting to plant some plants on it that could cascade down. I can imagine if this is filled with creepers or maybe poison ivies or some kind of a plant that's hanging or with flowers. This would look so beautiful. Or some kind of a plant that's hanging or with flowers. This would look so beautiful. Or some kind of a plant that's hanging or with flowers. This would look so beautiful.
All right, welcome back to the Quarter Acre Homestead. Somebody asked me about our grape arbor when they saw pictures of our grapes. So I'm gonna just do a quick tour of our grape arbor, show you kind of how I put it together, and then show you some of our grapes. They're doing super well this year, and I'm picking some. So that's the video for today. So this grapevine has seedless purple grapes. I don't know what the variety is because my dad just gave me a rooted cutting that I started growing maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And it kind of just was super vigorous. I'll show you all of this grapevine here in a minute, but all of this was from one root. And then last year when I was pruning it, I did put one end of the vine into the ground to grow a second root. But before I show you kind of how big this one grapevine is, I guess I'll show you the grapes. So big clusters of these nice purple grapes. They're not as big as like store grapes, but some of them are like pretty big, bigger than a blueberry. And they're about perfectly ripe right now. They're really sweet.
Hello! Now every garden should have some of these ravishing pop-in-the-mouth raspberries. Given the space they occupy, they yield a phenomenal quantity of berries, which are equally as good eaten fresh or frozen to enjoy during the quieter months. There's nothing complicated about growing them either, as we'll show you in this video. Raspberry canes grow best in a sunny, sheltered position, though unlike many fruits they will also grow quite successfully in a part shaded spot.
If you want to grow lots of blueberries, then take these 7 steps, and in a few years, you'll not only have plenty of blueberries to eat fresh, but also lots of extras if you want to freeze, preserve, give away, or even sell.
Here we're starting to get into more shady part of the garden, and the shade is primarily provided here by these humongous banana trees. So bananas, they actually grow very fast. If you want a fast way of getting some really tall plants in your garden, you could consider planting banana trees. The only thing, however, is that banana tree, once it fruits, it will only fruit once, and then the plant would tend to die out after that. What the plant would then give in return, very much like the bromeliads and the agaves we saw just now, would be lots of little pups to take after it.